they have to break up the big three. Now, they have no way, shape, or form any interests in moving Bradley Beal because they can't. They can't move Bradley Beal because he's the one of very few players. I think he's the only player right now in the NBA that has a no trade clause.
That has a max contract.
Yeah. So he's going nowhere unless he wants to be traded. And I don't know who wants him. The guy can't stay healthy. And when he's on the court, he's not the same player he was when he was the dominant force offensive player that he was in Washington. So Bradley Beal is going to be there for the long haul unless he wants to be traded. And I don't think anybody wants that contract. So he's there. Kevin Durant is 35 years old. He still put up pretty good numbers in the playoffs. We know we're not going to blame Kevin Durant for the loss in that series. But Kevin Durant, he hasn't won anything except when he went to Golden State Warrior and played with those big three players like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. He hasn't done it since then. He decided to go to the Nets and take his talents to play with Kyrie Irving, and then they brought James Harden there. It didn't work. And then he wanted to be traded again. And where does he get traded? He gets traded to the team he's playing for now. And they gave up. The Nets got a slew of draft stock, a slew of them. And they got pretty good players. Mikal Bridges is a good consolation prize. As a matter of fact, Mikal Bridges this year was just as good as Kevin Durant. And now Mikal doesn't want to stay, or he doesn't want to play for the Nets. So he could be traded in the offseason, or he could be traded before the season's over because he's a free agent after next year. I could only guess where he wants to go if he does become a free agent. As we all know, his buddies are playing in New York. Devin Booker, and I've been saying this over and over and over again, and it has nothing to do with the Knicks, okay? I'm not going to say anything about the Knicks unless you want me to. But I did say that Devin Booker, if he becomes available, the Knicks are going to go heavily after him. And why? Why? Because Leon Rose was his agent. And he, as everybody sees right now, is the Knicks are one of the teams to beat in the Eastern Conference. So why not come from the West, go to the East, and it's an easier way all the way to the finals. That's my only thing I'm going to say about the Knicks. As far as Devin Booker is concerned, he is the only asset they have that they can get a load of stock back for. They need to get back some of those draft picks.
Yep.
Now, the Knicks have 6 in the next 2 years. Now, they're not going to be top 10 draft picks, but they're picks that they can move up and get a top 10 player. They can rebuild with those picks. Would the Knicks be willing to give away 6 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years and maybe a Mitchell Robinson and a McBride to land a player of Devin Booker's stature? I don't know. I'm not even saying the Knicks. The Lakers will be interested. The Clippers will be interested. They'll be a loaded. Miami will definitely be interested.
Mavericks, I would imagine.
The Mavericks will be interested with Kyrie Irving there and Luka Doncic, who wants to win a championship. And they have some money to add another max player to that roster. There'll be teams lining up. How about San Antonio?
Yep.
When Wembanyama over there, and you have a top draft pick this year, you might even win the lottery again this year.
It wouldn't surprise me. I want to start or go play with Wemby.
I mean, seriously. Within 3 years, that San Antonio Spurs team could be the team that beat in the Western Conference, except maybe OKC, who's very, very talented. I mean, they have a ton of draft stock in the first and second round. We don't know where Devin Booker is going to go, if he's even going to be traded. Kevin Durant is the more likely guy out, and the reason why is he's 35 years old. He knows he can't win with the Suns. He might have 2 more years left at the top of his game at best, and he wants to go somewhere where he can take his talents and give them the best chance to win. Now, a lot of people think, hey, you know what? He can go to the Knicks. He'd fit perfectly, but you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with Julius Randle. Do you trade Julius Randle in a trade like that? And you're still going to have to give up draft stock for a guy like Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant still has the game where the Suns are going to say, well, he's still a top player. He's still a top 10, top 15 player. You're getting a top 15 player for what? Nothing? That's not going to happen. So Kevin Durant is another guy. I mean, I could see Miami, another team that would bring Kevin Durant to play with Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets over there. That team would be built to win right off the bat over there. Pat Riley, and obviously one of the great coaches in all of basketball. I think the best. Mm-hmm. But there's many options that the Suns could go. They're not winning with this team. They're not. For the fact that they think that they're going to bring all three of these guys back and run it again, they're not winning. All three of them were practically healthy in this series. All of them. Bradley Beal played in the series. Wasn't any good. I mean, Devin Booker wasn't really good in this series either. The only guy that was really good in the series was Kevin Durant. And I don't have to say much. This team is not as good as everybody thought they were going to be. I told everybody. I said it before the season started. It's not going to work. You don't have a real point guard. You don't have a real point guard. You have Bradley Beal running the point, and then you have Kevin Durant taking the ball down, and Devin Booker. You don't have a legitimate point guard. Point guards play a big factor in the league now, as you see with the New York Knicks. The Knicks have never had a point guard, ever. Really, I mean, even when you look at Walt Frazier really wasn't a legitimate point guard. He was really a 3 playing the point position. He defended multiple positions. He wasn't like an all-around point guard. Right. Jalen Brunson is the first all-around point guard the Knicks have ever had. And you see the difference on how they run the offense through him.